Hey everyone, welcome back into the Birdland Network where we talk all things Baltimore Orioles and Major League Baseball. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Orioles' recent struggles and whether or not it's time for Orioles fans and Orioles themselves to start panicking over the results we've seen over the past several weeks. Going to be kind of a rant here from me. But before we do that, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way every time we go live or do a new video, you'll be notified. And if you could, please give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps the video. But the Orioles coming off a series against the Cubs at home against the last place Cubs over the past 3 days. Played absolutely horrible baseball, losing 9-2, 5-0, and 8-0, if I'm not mistaken. And it's or 5-2, 9-2, 4-0, 8-0. And just played absolutely terrible baseball across the board. Pitching was bad, hitting was bad, fielding was bad. Just not good baseball. But, you may say, well, it's only a 3-game set. Anything can happen in one small series. But let's look at the bigger picture of the last 20 games for the Orioles. And you'll see a little bit more of a reason why there could be some leaning towards a worry/panic mode for Orioles fans and the Orioles themselves. So over the last 20 games, the Orioles have gone 9-11 in that time frame. So they're under 500. And remember, this is against teams like Oakland, Texas, and the Cubs, who were all under 500 in that 20-game set. During that time, they gave up 5 or more runs in 12 of the 20 games. Of the 20 games, they got 10 quality starts, so 50-50. Again, not good, 50-50 on quality starts. And again, a quality start is 6 innings, 3 runs or less by the starter. And a couple of them were just on the quality start spectrum. They could have teetered either way. And it's been really a struggle for the starters, and that's not even talking about what's going on with the bullpen. Everybody in the bullpen, it seems like, are leaking runs every time they come in. Whether it's trying to hold on to a lead and taking what's a 7-2 lead and making it a 7-5 game, or giving up runs late, nobody in the Orioles bullpen right now seems to be able to get outs. They're walking guys, they're letting inherited runners score. The only guy that's really kind of been even close to a lock is, of all people, Craig Kimbrell, the closer. So there's a lot of questions on the pitching side of things for the Orioles that has to be addressed by the Orioles staff and the front office in any way they can, because they are struggling of late. And there's a reason for that. I mean, there's a reason for that. There are some guys in that rotation that maybe probably shouldn't be in the rotation, but out of necessity they are. Whether it be Albert Suarez, who's been up and down, Cade Povich has gotten shelled sometimes. Cole Irvin has just fallen off a cliff. He has been really bad his last 5 or 6 outings in general. Corbin Burns has still been good, but he's had some struggles. And even Grayson Rodriguez, he's had a couple clunkers in there. So the starting rotation's got to really reinvent itself, I think, and do better. But in this 20-game set, it's not just the pitching that's been the issue. Let's talk about the hitting. In that 20-game period, 11 times the Orioles scored 3 or less runs. They have been just terrible with runners in scoring position in the last several games. They're like 12 for their last 73 with runners in scoring position. They are not getting runners over. They can't get runners in. They've been shut out in back-to-back games against the Cubs, and they scored 2 runs in the entire series. It was just horrible, and they've been too reliant, in my opinion, on the long ball. Look, they hit 60 home runs as a team in June. That's great. But when 65% of the runs you score are predicated off the home run, to me, that's an issue. They can't string multiple hits together and score runs any other way than by hitting the ball over the fence. And to me, that's an issue. When you're reliant that much on the long ball, it's going to be a problem come playoff time, because you're going to be facing really good teams with really good pitching staffs, and the home runs are going to be that much harder to come by because you're going to be facing even better staffs. And if they're not going to find other ways to score runs, it's going to be an issue. Again, just my opinion from what I've seen, the eye test on what I've watched and what I've looked at and looking at the numbers, it's going to be an issue. And they've got to figure this out. They've got to find other ways to score runs. I mean, you got guys like Anthony Santander. Okay, he's got 22 home runs, but he's batting 234. Colton Cowser's batting 217. Cedric Mullins is batting 211. I know he had that 5 or 6 game stretch where it looked like maybe he was going to break out of it. Nope, 211. Mateo, 227 batting average. Urias, 234 batting average. McCann, 219 batting average. Austin Hayes, who has gotten hot a little bit, he's doing better. He's at 259. So there's 7 guys out of your position players who are hitting under 235, or 6 of the 7 are hitting under 235. Their OPS, their on-base percentages are not good. They're striking out in really inopportune times. There was a game, not yesterday's game, but the game before when they lost 5-0, they had a time when Austin Hayes got a leadoff double. Couldn't even get him to third base, let alone get him in. They couldn't even get him over. They had another time they had second and third, or first and second, I think it was, with 1 out. Couldn't get anybody over or in. Striking out way too much in big moments. They can't even put the ball in play. I don't know. I just think this is an issue that has to be addressed by the Orioles front office and the Orioles coaching staff. Somebody has to step back and say, look, we're over swinging. When we get to 2 strikes, shorten your swing, make contact, protect the plate. I'm seeing guys, let strike 3 go right by on balls that are borderline. If it's borderline, you should be swinging. Protect the plate. And look, I'm not a professional. They're the professionals. They're the experts. But if I can see these kinds of things, I know they see them. So hopefully the Orioles will make some adjustments here. Hopefully they can get back on the winning track. So ultimately, do I think it's panic mode? I think it's worry mode for sure. Panic mode is Monday after we see how this series against the Yankees goes. If they lose 2 of 3, or God forbid get swept by the Yankees in this next 3-game set, panic mode has to set in. And it won't be a fun all-star break for the Orioles if that's the case. And the other issue is they've been very lucky, because this is, I think, on a national level would be a bigger story, but for the fact the Yankees have been struggling too. Now, the Yankees always get the headlines, so them struggling has really overshadowed the Orioles' struggles. Imagine if the Yankees weren't struggling, the Orioles would probably be 4 or 5 games out, and it would be a really big national story. But the Yankees have been struggling, so they've been really honing in on that. But guess what? The other problem now, too, it's no longer a 2-team race. Here comes Boston. Boston's 10 games over 500, and they're only 5.5 behind the Orioles for first place. So now the Orioles don't have to just contend with the Yankees. Now they've got to contend with Boston. So there's a lot on the line here for the Orioles. They have got to right this ship, and quick, because I'm not looking at just a small sample size. I'm looking at 20 games, and that 20-game sample is not a good one for the Orioles, and they've got to be able to turn it around. Will they do that? We will see really, really soon. A couple of these guys may have to look in the mirror, and maybe the Orioles have to have a talk and say, we're going to move in another direction. How much better is Jorge Mateo to Connor Norby? How much better is Ramon Urias to Kobe Mayo possibly getting a call up? Or maybe a Jackson Holiday? What are we going to do? I get it. We're in a pennant race. We want to win. But are those guys, those 3 guys I just mentioned, Jorge Mateo, Ramon Urias, and even a James McCann, are they real difference makers on this team? Maybe I'm not seeing that they are. I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. But now it's out to you guys. I want to hear from you. My rant is over. Now I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Am I panicking? Is this panic mode for me? Should I just be like, nope, we're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. But really look at it. Don't look at it through orange-colored glasses, folks. As Oriole fans, be objective and really look at the big picture here of what we see, because that's what I'm trying to do. But let me know what you think in the comments. Yes, we're panicking. No, we're not panicking. We're acting how we should be acting, and I'd love to hear from you. Also, give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps the video. But thanks for letting me rant a little bit, folks. I hope you all have a good day. Hopefully the Orioles will get back on track this weekend against the Yankees. I appreciate you watching this long. Be sure to subscribe and like. Hope to see you all soon. Until next time, keep rooting for the O's. Keep your fingers crossed. And take care of yourselves and each other. Bye now.